Welcome back, everyone. Tom Grothous, our auto expert's back with us today. I don't even want to think about it, but he's getting us ready for winter driving and maintenance. Better earlier than never at all. Okay, so when I was a kid, someone got stuck, or you were thinking you were going out in the winter, you had maybe some boards ready to go. You had, all this stuff. You had a kit.
And you had a kit,
You had a kit ready to roll. But maybe because of technology and our laziness today, we may not need this stuff, right?
Well, all of this changed when I talked to my granddaughter. I said, I got her this winter kit, all to put in her car. And she says, Grandpa, I'm not going to use that. I've got my blanket and my cell phone.
I'll call somebody.
Yeah,
right.
And you stop and think about it. Everybody has insurance, and you have, wrecker service with that, or you call AAA or whatever, and it's like, yeah, this is old school. This is what Dad told you to bring along, stuff like that. And I'm going, it makes all the sense in the world.
Well, and you said it to me. You said, how many of us are going to get out of our car and try to get ourselves out of the snow?
I'm not.
You know what?
And you're not either.
We even come from that generation where we would have done that. But anymore, you're like, I'm not going to do that.
So here we are in the winter coming up. And what do we need to do? Well, if your car is from 1 to 5 years old, you might want to, at 5 years, you might want to check the battery, because it's probably, if it hasn't let you down, it's gone too. It's just like us, it ages. Wiper blades, tires, things like that. Always change your oil, stuff like that. But then when it goes 10 years old, do the same thing you did before, but now you're looking at your tires. Your tires, if they're not wore out, they're getting age. You want to have breakdown on the road and use your cell phone and call road service.
I'm going to call Grothous.
It's going to cost you a lot more. If it's over 10 years and you're going to that 15 to 20 years, the most breakdowns you have are belts and hoses.
Okay, that makes sense.
So when you're out there with belts and hoses, it's really going to get you. And the one thing, when you get 100 to 120,000 miles on your car, timing belt. Because when that timing belt blows, it's going to take your engine out. And then it's going to cost you a lot of money.
How does one, so when you go in, say, for regular maintenance, can you just ask them, check out my timing belt, see what that looks like?
Oh, yeah. Well, not to check it out, because it's underneath a bunch of shrouds.
So they're not going to do that,
But once any good service center will tell you, once it's 100 to 120,000 miles, they're going to say, you really should have your timing belt. Because when it blows, you don't have a non-interference fit in your valves. And when the timing chain or timing belt goes, then what happens is your valves are opening at the wrong time, hit the head, bend the valves, hole in the pistons, whatever.
That sounds like a mess.
Gets very expensive.
Yeah. Now, as far as tires, I've always, I want to change it this year before we get to winter, but front wheel drive, I can tell when the first rain or anything, when I start to take off and things are sliding, I mean, that's how I tell. But I would think when you're getting your oil change, that kind of thing, they'll tell you too. Watch Lincoln's head and everything else, all that.
They should. But I'm getting more and more to the point where if you don't say anything, they're not going to say anything.
That might be true.
But a good service center will let you know. Educate your customer on what they need to look for, instead of just assuming the customer knows it. Because a lot of customers don't. Or it's not big on their list. So those are some of the things that you worry about. The windshield wipers, headlights, making sure that you can see going down the road. Those are the things that are going to prevent you from having a problem in the wintertime,
Yeah. Anything in that kit you're still going to have in your car, though, by the way? Flashlight,
maybe my gloves, and my cell phone.
Right, it used to be road flares. Remember, they'd say bring some flares with you.
Road flares, an old cell phone, because you're out there and you have a breakdown, or you're really into the ditch. An old cell phone, you can always got 911 that you can plug into and use it.
Best thing you can have. All right, thank you, Tom. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good seeing you. Don't go away. We'll be back right after this.